What is up, Force fam? Star Wars Dad back for another video. Today we're going to be looking at Kit Fisto Green, which is a deck that I think is kind of sneaky good. Before we get into today's video, please make sure to check out my Patreon if you want to get more exclusive content from me. So that's like deck lists almost every day, helping people with building different decks, and all sorts of exclusive content, including giveaways as well. Please make sure to like and subscribe, as that really does help the channel to grow. And make sure to sign up for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, where I'll be giving away the 3 hyperspace foil Darth Vaders to 3 different winners. So for this video, I'll be giving away a home one to 1 lucky winner in the comments. So just let me know what you think is a sneaky good deck that has performed surprisingly well for you, or think, you know, it might start to get more attention as we continue to go further into the Legends of the Force meta. But to get into today's deck, so Kit Fisto is definitely a leader that I did not pay attention to at first. I do like its ability, and I did like it when it initially came out, but the flip just felt like a worse version of Ahsoka. Actually, a friend, Swoonef, who has his own YouTube channel, was talking about this deck not too long ago. He did a video on it and talking about how it had a good Han to blue matchup. So I just started paying a little more attention to it and kind of made my own little version of this deck based on his ideas and his videos. So definitely check out his channel. I'll post that in the description and on the page right now. But to really, what we're trying to do here is just really take advantage of Kit Fisto's action ability, which is very, very strong. And you combine it with things like, Force Throw is the obvious one that's going to be in every red deck, right? You're using the Jedi spaceships, with Anakin being a very, very strong finisher in here, and then Jedi Starfighter just being very, very good against space heavy decks, combined with Kit Fisto's ability in cards like Grenade Strike, where you can just do a ton of damage across the board. So having all these Jedi, these units, can really surprise your opponent, like how effective it becomes. And I don't know if you've ever played against Kit Fisto, but you'll be surprised at the amount of damage you end up taking and things that happen out of nowhere, and you'll be like, oh, I guess I didn't see that coming. But yeah, so we have the 3 Anakin's Interceptor and the 3 Jedi Starfighter as turn 1 space units. They're also just a way to get your Jedi action ability online with Kit Fisto, as well as beefing Kit Fisto up for cheap. We have a bunch of turn 1 2-drops in this deck with playing 15, so we always want to get that on, and we usually always have one of those in our hand. The ground ones, of course, are great for getting like General's Blade online on turn 2 in certain matchups where we're not worried about like Power of the Dark Side and things like that. But we want to try to, also we want to be able to attack in with something on turn 2 and then play another 2-drop so that we can use Kit Fisto's ability to either set up a knockout or take a knockout. And that's really important as well. It's also just really nice to, squeeze in Force Throw next to it, if that's the better option sometimes. Playing a couple of Force Choke, I think that's just because it's still a really strong card in here. For only 3 resources, you're doing 5 damage. And with Kit Fisto's ability, it just combines really well. It is a little counterintuitive because our opponent gets to draw a card, and we are playing like Force Throw and Jedi in Hiding. Pillage is definitely a card you can consider in here, which I have considered for sure. But I was a little more focused on just kind of cheating out units in this particular version. The Grenade Strikes are very, very good in here, of course, because you attack him with a Jedi unit on turn 2. You can play Grenade Strike and then use Kit Fisto's ability, and you could do, let's say upwards of 6 damage to a unit if you wanted to, but it just really does a good job of clearing the board out. And you don't always want to do that. You want to do Grenade Strike more on like the 4 resource turn, so you can play another unit and keep applying pressure, because this deck definitely does a good job of just kind of steady pressure while dealing with units for cheap, kind of like Talzin. It feels very similar to Talzin in those ways. Hu Yang is really cool in here. It's great for Kit Fisto's flip. It's also just really great for turns where you have like the 6 resource turn, for example. Like you have a Hu Yang and a General's Blade, and you can just like turn like a Kiadi Mundi into a 9/9 out of nowhere on curve. And that's the types of things I mean when I say you can just surprise your opponents out of nowhere. like there's that line of play as well as Kit Fisto's ability, where you're just like your opponent's like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Hu Yang is sneaky good in here because it's a Jedi. It's great for Kit Fisto, of course, because if let's say you have 3 Jedis on board, you play the Hu Yang, which so it'd be a 4/6. You play the Hu Yang, it becomes a 6/8, and then you can still have space to have used Kit Fisto's ability, still have space to force throw, force choke, grenade strike on that same turn, and that's just really, really impactful and can really just close out the game quickly, as you do such a good job of keeping your opponent's units off the board. Jedi in Hiding is just kind of like, it's the best 3-drop we have in these colors besides Obi-Wan and Red 5, and it just kind of synergizes with Force Throw. Again, Pillage in the side board that you're bringing in against more control decks. You can absolutely play that in the main. The 3 Obi-Wan just give you that Ground Sentinel. Most of the time it dies, but it at least slows things down. Because we do have Kelleran and Home 1 at the top end to kind of rebuild our board, and also that restore effects with Home 1. So Obi-Wan is nice to get out with Kelleran or Home 1 in certain situations. Red 5 just fits the theme of this deck so well. We're pinging and setting up knockouts, and Red 5 is just such a great turn 2 play to just start clearing things out in combination with Kit Fisto's ability. Open Fire, of course, gets even better in here when you combine that with Kit Fisto, because you're able to do 6 damage to a unit very easily in this deck. The General's Blade, of course, goes really well with the Consular. Sometimes even it's better to play it on the Consular in weird situations. But just having that card allowing you to get out Mace Windu on your 4 resource turn while attacking into a unit. Let's say you have it on Gungi, and then just being able to get Mace Windu out on your 3rd turn is just so strong, and still have the Force, so you still get to use Mace Windu's ability. So things like that are very strong in here. Kelleran obviously comes down on 5 because of General's Blade or Jedi Consular. Ki-Adi-Mundi, of course, just to get that card draw, and like I said, to be a solid attacker in certain situations, especially if you find a General's Blade or a Hu Yang to pump it up. Mace Windu is one of our closers, of course, and the fact that we can cheat it out on our 4 resource turn feels nuts, and it's very easy to do that in here because of Consular and General's Blade. And because you're doing such a good job of clearing things out, especially just keeping their units off the board, it's very easy to get a unit with a General's Blade that's a problem. Again, if you're not playing against like Power of the Dark Side or Takedown or something like that. And a lot of those other matchups is really strong. And it's just a lot of fun to be able to cheat these things out. And I think that's what makes this deck relevant, is the early cheap ways of dealing with units and then getting those big payoffs for cheap if you get to pull those things off. And then, round it out with Home 1, get things back, get that restore online, have that big threat in space. And this deck is pretty well rounded, right? We have like 11 space units and 26 ground units. So it's fairly aggressive. We're playing 37 units. The removal feels very strong in here because of Kit Fisto's ability. Because we're playing so many cheap units that become relevant with upgrades and Hu Yang and things like that, and Consular just being as strong as it is, this deck can really put on some pressure. Kit Fisto, of course, the flip turn can be surprisingly good if you have 3 or 4 units out. Let's say, even at 3 units, right? You get that Hu Yang or that General's Blade, and all of a sudden Kit Fisto is like a legit threat. Becomes a 6/9 if you put a General's Blade on it with 3 units out. That's a strong stat line for 5 resources, right? It's not an easy thing to kill, and then on top of that, you're getting to play units for cheaper. And if that's the only card you played that turn, then you can still play like a Ki-Adi-Mundi right after that and draw 2 cards. There's just some really cool things you can do in here. On the sideboard, we have the Aggrieved Parliamentarians and the Kit Fisto's Ether Sprites for those Kylo decks. The 3rd copy of Kelleran and 3rd copy of Home 1. Bombing runs, of course, for space-heavy decks or just like ground-heavy decks in general to slow things down. And then the couple of Pillage for more mid-range and control matchups where we want to just completely obliterate their hand. But like I said, in today's video, I just wanted to focus on the big payoffs and cheating things out. But this deck felt really surprisingly good. I think Swoonef is onto something with this deck. This is my particular take on it. A little different than his, but I'll post the link to his video on this deck as well. But I just wanted to play something different, a little off meta, and just kind of see what I could do. But yeah, let's get into a few games so I can kind of show you. Up against Talzin Red. So what do we want to do here? We have the option to cheat things out. The issue is that they have power of the dark side. Going space doesn't feel bad. Let's like Adi Galia go, I guess. I don't think we're playing General's Blade. The only way I'm considering playing General's Blade is on Kit Fisto flip turn. Hand disruption is good, but we don't have force throw. Jedi in hiding is kind of awkward. Let's go space to start off. Hu Yang is not bad. Mace is not bad. I like Consular as a card that helps us get something out a little sooner. It's a good turn to play. Good card to play this turn, potentially. Okay. Let's get that shield off. Jedi in hiding is actually... Our Jedi Knight actually is pretty solid, potentially. We can play Mace Windu here. If they don't kill Consular, okay. We already used the Force, though, didn't we? We did. Okay, well, this is actually an interesting choice. Play the General's Blade and take out some things. Makes us a 4/7. And then we can play Hu Yang on top of it. Or even... Yeah, that's interesting. Not mad about it. Yeah, going wide is definitely better, but having a beast that they have to deal with isn't bad either. Especially because we can still play another unit this turn. Okay, he went face. I think we should just go face. Okay. He claimed the initiative, okay. It's a 2/4, it's a 3/3. I'm surprised he claimed the initiative there. So let's just play Jedi Knight. That wasn't a bad draw at all. We have options here. So now we can do is play Mace Windu here. Kill Talzin's assassin. So we can attack him with Consular. Kill Talzin's assassin. There's so many choices here. Could also play Hu Yang for 1 and play all these other cards. A lot of good choices here. It's tough because there's so many options. Decisions. Yeah, that was a hard choice. Okay, what did he do? Jedi in hiding. Okay. So we can discard something here. I guess open fire. Let's take out Talzin's assassin. Play Mace and then play Force Throw. Okay, he played Takedown. Take out Secretive Sage. Play Force Throw. Since we're in the hand disruption battle here. Both of us just trying to eliminate each other's units. He got rid of the sun. Oh, wow. He's holding on to... he was holding on to a lot of expensive stuff over there. I mean... we don't have the initiative. Yeah, red 5. At least gives us something in the air, which they don't have as many answers for. And it has... all right. Good game. So our opponent couldn't handle our removal of their units. So that was a good showing. It was the battle of the units, and then, you know, General's Blade actually coming in use on the Jedi Consular. It just kind of, you know, that's kind of one of those plays I was not expecting to make, but it just kind of fell in my lap, and it was the best option. So sometimes it's how it goes with this game, right? Like, you look at your hand, you're like, I'm probably not playing that because they have Power of the Dark Side, and then just the way it worked out where they removed my Anakin early on with their Talzin's Assassin, it just made sense to have that big body on the ground and force them to have to deal with it. And then it also allows us to cheat things out immediately. So it just made the most sense. And it paid off with that force throw. I mean, there was nothing they could do about that. That's why you got to keep a cheap thing in your hand when you know someone's playing force throw. All right, right? Looks like a pretty solid keep. All right, we're going to go Gungi into either Open Fire or Hu Yang, or even Obi-Wan. I don't know how necessary Obi-Wan's going to be, though, with... this going to be a space-heavy matchup. All right, let's hold on to... let's get rid of Hu Yang. Probably Force Choke, right? Yeah. Feel like we have the right tools for this, but we'll see. Finding that grenade strike pretty early on is going to be pretty important. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's magical. Hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Depending on what he has here, we'll decide if we want to attack or not, depending on what he plays. Yeah, I think that is worthy of attacking. Ping 2 or discard? Let's discard. Get the shield off. What did he discard? Oh, Whaley, okay. I kind of like the idea of Jedi in hiding, honestly. I just don't see it dying. We can use Kit Fisto's ability to take out the 7th Fleet. Defender. And our opponent's had enough. Yeah. I don't know. That felt like a little bit of an early concession. But I feel like he's just getting annoyed because Kit Fisto's ability is just very strong against that type of deck. The grenade strike on Q was very good. I mean, that's definitely what won us the game. I think here we would have either played the Hu Yang to pump up Gungi, but we probably would have just played Open Fire and used Kit Fisto's ability and just kind of continue to keep his board empty. And then next turn, we probably would play Hu Yang into Kit Fisto flip and then try to get the most out of that flip turn and just kind of outrace them. And then we probably would use Kit Fisto's ability one more time before flipping as well.
All right, pretty solid.
Good game. Let's drop a Gungi and Galia. Yeah. I think the plan against these colors is to go Gungi into General's Blade, into Consular, and then play... just start cheating units out, right? Okay. That's something. Grenade Strike's a good find. Depends on what he does here. Okay. So do we go General's Blade and make this a 5/8? I believe so. We're going to take one. I think it's better for us to just attack in and kill this. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. He's not a force unit. Consular. Another General's Blade is pretty amazing. We can cheat out Mace Windu this turn, so I think that's what we're going to do. Can do it 2 different ways. Whoa, 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 whoa. How do I restart my turn? I should have... that was weird. I don't know how to do that in here. Oh. Why did it do that? That's awful. There's no way to undo that. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Well, isn't that silly? Let's just put a General's Blade here. Since we accidentally forgot. I don't know how to restart the turn. Yeah. What are you going to do, man? All right. Yeah. It's a weird mistake for sure. Take one here, sure. We have a General's Blade, so either way we can get out Mace. Yeah, I mean, this game would have been a lot different if we didn't accidentally not resource. What's happening here? Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why does it keep doing this? I gotta stop pressing the wrong buttons. He played a resupply, okay. Well, isn't that nice? He's getting his leader out. On the same turn, we should have gotten our leader out. Okay. Another Mace. What are we doing here? Just using Mace to attack in, right? I mean, I think we should just attack it with Consular, actually. And then we can play Kelleran. Okay. Nice. What did he just do? Oh, he got a traitorous. Interesting. It's a well-timed Traitorous. But I think it's going to be hard for our opponent. And the crazy part is Hu Yang still keeps it strong, right? He's got to have, like, I don't know what he could have at this point. We got too much power on the field, yeah. Yeah, so we're still able to pull it out even with accidentally not resourcing. All right, looks pretty good to me. I like the Starfighter, but I'm not sure how relevant that's going to be. I think I'd rather have the open fires. I mean, we also have the potential to just, like, make Gungi, like, huge here, and I think that's just too good to pass up. Seems just way too good to pass up. Okay. Okay. Gungi. It's Gungi and Gungi. All right, Grenade Strike, Force Throw. This is tough. I think we're going to let Grenade Strike go. I go General's Blade. See what he does here. Kind of puts him in a position where we just kill his Gungi or... Okay, well, there you go. I'm just going to go face. Sure. Does he have a Force Throw? Sorcerer's Blast, nice. That's okay. Sure. Okay, we're at 4. Yeah, that was an inconvenient battle for us for sure. Consular's not bad because we can Force Throw plus Consular if we let him attack first. Take the 5. Or we just open fire. That doesn't feel as good. Do we want to take the 5? Kind of want to get a unit established, right? Let's just pass. Let's see what he does. If he tries to play another unit. Oh, okay, he did not. All right, so we're gonna try to get the Force Throw off if we can. What he got a rip of 3. Okay, let's get rid of Gungi. I would imagine he's claiming, yeah. That's fine. Hiding's not bad, but we probably just want to go General's Blade here. Pretty sure he's going to kill the Consular. Yep. We could draw some cards here. It's not the worst thing either. Okay. Get in for 2. Hu Yang's not bad. He attacked Kit Fisto, okay. We could make a monstrous Kit Fisto here, right? I mean, Kiadi Mundi. Ouch. Interesting that he went that route. It's not the route I would have gone, but... Let's go face. Okay. Up to 7. Putting pressure, though. Which is good. Okay. 23. Okay. Trade. Let's go ahead and get in, just in case he tries to kill us here. Okay. Okay, we're going to take 8. It doesn't matter once he gets to 15. Then we're just at a place, unless he has something to kill us. I was going to say, I don't think he does, though. Yeah, good game. Yeah, this deck's been feeling good. Just kind of putting pressure on and removing things. It feels very similar to Talzin in a lot of ways because of all the unit removal. And just the cheap ways of removing things and Kit Fisto's ability in combination. Alright, gonna keep Jedi Starfighter's pretty good here. Think we're gonna let Force Choke and Gungi go. Definitely want to be more space heavy against them. Getting all the spaceships this game. Gotta love that, right? Okay. Take that stolen AT hauler. We do know he's gonna flip though, so that's not great. Open fire is not bad though. Yeah, there's the flip. Oh no, he just did the ability. Okay. Flips on 4. Is it plus 3/3? Let's start off with an open fire to make him think twice about going on to that one. Because then we can kill it immediately with our ships. Yep, okay. We'll take the damage here, but we're just gonna immediately kill this ship. Okay, Hu Yang's not bad. We're at 5. Guess we're gonna go General's Blade, right? For a cause, okay. Okay, we're gonna ping with Kit Fisto here. Make sure red 3 dies. Gonna flip Kit Fisto, play General's Blade. And then play the Consular. Or actually play the red 3, red 5, I think, actually. Okay, yeah. And then we're gonna, next turn we're gonna play home 1 and turn this game around. Nice. Gotta admit, this deck is a lot of fun once you get things moving in the right direction. Okay, he's going in for 3. He's gonna push, right? Yep. Figured. Something like that would happen, right? Okay. Now we have a couple options here. We can straight up just remove their board with like open fire. Or we can play home 1, swing in for 4, gain 2 life. I think it's better to remove their board. Yeah, I think that was the right approach. We don't need another Consular at this point. Spark of Rebellion. Ouch. Of course he has that, right? Okay, but we're at the point now where they had another for a cause, right? Gonna be close. He's just trying to find another for a cause, basically. All right, see if he has it. Talk about having the right combination of cards at the right time. He did not. Good game.